The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Earnestly podcast coming to you on October 11th, 2021. How you guys doing? This one should be a fun one. It's a fun episode here. Of course, this podcast, you can subscribe to all podcast catchers, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, you name it. I'm actually on location right now, recording this. I had my buddy Ron Goodwin on the show for the first time in 10 years. We had this planned out weeks ago. We wanted to talk about the season finale of Ted Lasso, which came on this past weekend. We were going to do the show as we normally do it on Skype or whatever, but he decided to come over to the house to hang out with me and my wife a little bit, and we ended up saying, you know what, well, fuck it, let's do the show in person. Now the thing is, I don't have a complete setup yet to do multiple guests in my home just yet. I got to buy more mics and more mic stands and all that. So we ended up doing the show off my phone. So the audio is a little different than usual. It's not terrible, but it's not mic'd up either. So it's a lot echoey and all that. But otherwise the show was really fun. I had a great time. I love doing in-person podcasts. It's very rare I can do that. So enjoy this episode, man. Ron has been a good friend of mine for a long time. As a coworker as well too. And we went across everything. But we went from Ted Lasso to Friends to parenting to politics to mental health, you name it. We just went all we had a preconceived plan what to talk about, but then we ended up going across the board. This is a long one too. Also, this is a long podcast. We recorded this up to midnight last night, and even after we were done recording, we kept talking till 2 a.m. And it was a good one. It's a real fun one. My wife joined as well too. And as you notice too, as the podcast goes on into the second hour, I talk less and less because my wife and Ron and my wife get more into debating things and whatnot. I'm a little more in the middle. So, to be honest, I was really sleepy. I was really tired. I had very little energy left. I had a long day with the kids. We went to a birthday party yesterday too, and there's a lot going on here. So I was really exhausted. But enjoyed this one. It's a fun one. I had a great time doing it, and yeah, I'm also looking forward to this Wednesday's Football is Awesome podcast on the feed. Cannot wait to talk about football. This is a fantastic week of NFL action and college too, for that matter. College football for that record. So anyway, enjoy this episode, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Just a fair warning before you get started on this episode. Obviously it's a very raw recording as well. I had really bad allergies, so you can hear me snorting and coughing and all the way through the episode, so I apologize. I'm not trying to discourage you guys to not listen to this episode, but unfortunately I was not in my normal element to do podcasts. I was not in my studio. I was actually literally in my living room watching Sunday Night Football, and on my couch with my friend and my wife. So just a fair warning that if the coughing is annoying, I understand. Even some of the snorting I was doing too, but I was not in my element. I was literally in my element at home, but was not in the element in terms of podcasting. So this is actually going to be kind of a unique episode too, especially you get a little more peep behind the curtain of life at the Christian residence, Costco Christian, if you will. Okay, enjoy now. All right, let's talk Ted Lasso.
Between you two.
No, you too.
Yeah, but I won't be talking as much.
Well, you really want to talk about the best show on TV right now? Because it seriously is the best show on TV. There's no real better show than Ted Lasso currently.
I'm not terribly stunned how great it is. I love Bill Lawrence.
Bill Lawrence is amazing.
Bill Lawrence is a fantastic director.
And the fact that you not only have Bill Lawrence, but Zach Braff also involved in it is just, it's not anything.
A lot of the Scrubs alum is a part of the show. His Bill Lawrence's wife, Zach Braff, a lot of the alum from the. But no, I was telling Lauren the other day. I think this show, honestly, in terms of in real time, and based off expectations of what I had going into it, is probably the most impactful show for me, probably since Breaking Bad.
I think it's nice to go into a show with no expectations.
Right.
Okay, I'm not the biggest Jason Sudeikis fan.
Yeah, man.
Like, there isn't even a role in a movie that I could be like, oh my god, that's my favorite role that he's ever done. Okay? He's done a lot of little things where I think that he's had funny scenes and good dialogue, but nothing that hits me to where I'm like, oh my god, that movie, that character, this is it. This is his, defining moment, in my opinion, as far as an actor where people will remember him for this role.
Yeah.
Okay? They're going to associate Jason Sudeikis with Ted Lasso.
Yes.
All right? And this is very involved. Like, dude, Ted Lasso, the character, even has a Twitter.
Right.
Do you follow Ted Lasso?
No,
on
really?
Twitter? Dude,
I didn't know that.
The character Ted Lasso has a Twitter and he tweets. Okay? He tweets like Ted Lasso. All right?
That's amazing.
So I'm telling you, like his motto thing, I think his pinned tweet is, he doesn't have a lot of faith in people that don't have faith in themselves.
Right.
There are so many good things.
When did you start the show?
I started the show, just maybe like a week or two, maybe a couple weeks before season 2 dropped.
Oh, so pretty much recently, probably the last 2-3 months.
Well, I started watching Apple TV, and one of the first shows I watched was the morning show.
Yeah,
which I told you
you
need to watch. It's really, really, really good. Now, it's a drama. It's completely different than Ted Lasso, but at the same time, it's really well done.
Steve Carell, Jeffrey Aniston.
It's very, very well done. So after that, I was looking for something else to watch. I ended up watching the Rose Byrne show, Physical, which is about a mom who gets into the workout videos. It started in like the 80s.
Right.
Okay? Which is a crazy show. Check that out if you want
Big jump Jane Fonda shit.
It's really interesting. And then when I finished Physical, I kept hearing about Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
And so many things, the Emmys were like a month or 2 away, but the nominations had already come out. So you see this thing, 22 Emmy nominations. And I'm like, man, I got to watch this show. And I had no idea really about the show, except for the fact that he's an American football coach that gets hired to be the head coach of a premier football club. And he knows nothing about football as far as, soccer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
And just sat down and watched the show. So to have no expectations and to have the show do what it does, which is just kind of grab you in its wholesomeness.
Right.
And I told you after I watched season 1, the character of Ted Lasso might be one of the best written characters I've ever seen, as far as how good of a person he is.
Right.
And just how his integrity, the things that he says, it's really, really good. And it's positive.
It really
it's a
is.
person that has a positive outlook on life
Yeah.
and says, I'm not going to change who I am based on how you are or who you are.
Right.
So however you act is how you act, and I'm going to act how I act.
Right.
But it's never going to change.
I started the show. I actually saw the pilot about during the winter, like maybe January, February.
Yeah, you told me.
And I liked it.
You watched it.
But I didn't. But then I think you had said you weren't sure going to watch it or not. So I just said, let me wait for you if you want to watch it. Because you have a certain situation. You have a certain pattern how we do things. Like if we want to watch it together, we watch it together.
Right.
And I think you pushed me to watch. I think to a couple people I talked to pushed me to watching it. And then you were the person that said, start now. And then I told her, okay, we got to go. And then,
I mean, it's perfect timing, bro, because you rolled right into season 2. And they're trying to get it off. They're trying to get season 3 off in August.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Yeah.
And they haven't even finished writing yet. So to me, what that says is that they feel very comfortable with what they're doing right now.
Right.
Okay. They're in their 3rd season. I think that they'll be able to get it done. I believe that they were fighting with the Olympics. During the filming of last season.
Right.
So it was kind of tough on them. So I have total faith in the show. And especially, I told you, I really like the fact that it's a 3-season story arc.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, I think what happens in TV shows is writers write themselves into corners.
Right.
Okay, this is why I told you it's hard for me to get involved into a series, a TV show of any format that has multiple seasons with over 20 episodes each season. Because it's very hard for me to believe that all of those 20 episodes matter. It's just hard to believe you're going to have filler, even in a show like Friends, which is regarded as one of the best shows of all time.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm a big fan of Friends.
I had this discussion
She's
with
obsessed
him.
with
In shows like Friends and Scrubs, and now believe me, okay, one of my favorite shows is a show called Supernatural. Okay, that show has a shit ton of filler. Okay, but Friends and Scrubs, I always feel like when you have that kind of dynamic between friends and people that are just together, any episode is not going to be filler or too much filler, because it's going to give you some kind of dialogue between this person and that person. There's going to be some type of.
I'm gonna throw something at you.
Yeah.
What is the story of Friends?
It's the 6 people
and they're growing
relationships together.
You're right, but there is no real
storyline.
Actual
Seinfeld.
The subplots.
No
okay,
storyline.
but we're not talking about Seinfeld, and I've never watched Seinfeld because
Don't.
I didn't think that Jerry Seinfeld was funny.
He's not.
Okay, but
You want to watch it now?
But
No.
what I'm really trying to say is there are episodes of Friends that I'm like, oh my god, that's a phenomenal episode.
Mm-hmm.
But how many can you remove and it still is good? You can remove a lot of episodes. Like, we forget about the fact. Let's talk about the fact that Ross has a kid, okay, and then his babies just disappear, okay?
Yes.
Man, Ross might be the worst fucking TV father in history, okay?
Yep.
So, again, but the show doesn't care because it doesn't matter.
Right.
This is what I mean, where people go, if you had someone in a writer's room and they were spitballing and they said, yo, you can't do that. Don't you remember what happened 4 seasons ago? And they go, who cares? We're just going to write it this way.
Good point.
Okay? And I have problems with shows like that because it breaks continuity. It breaks character progression. Right. Okay? And sometimes you need character regression. A character arc isn't always going up. Sometimes it plateaus. And they stay there for a little bit. Sometimes something happens and they regress.
But you see that a lot in Friends, especially between Ross and Rachel, who don't. The ending of their relationship doesn't end up happening until the very last episode. So you go through 10 seasons watching their relationship go from.
You're right. And fucking Joey and Rachel were a thing, and it never should have happened because they've been friends for this whole fucking time.
Right.
Joey would never, ever do what he did with Rachel.
Right, that's why it never happened.
It did happen.
They kissed.
They absolutely kissed.
But they never,
absolutely,
it never went further than that.
That doesn't matter. It never would have happened in the first place. Okay.
They lived together at that time. That's why it happened.
It never would have happened. You're trying to justify what happened, and it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, it's cool. But they were like, man, what the fuck do we do? You know, be cool, bro. Just fucking have Joey go after Rachel, bro.
It's when you live with somebody and you start to see all their other habits and their good habits and even their bad habits and things like that, but you start to see how he is with other women. Yeah, no, I get it.
Wait.
This is not a one-night stand.
Let me ask a question.
If it was a one-night stand, I might agree with you. On a drunken stupor, you might get me to agree with you.
Hold on a second.
But the fact that they were literally talking about, oh my God, I have feelings. Okay, I guess you don't remember that Rachel said yes to Joey's proposal.
I remember.
So how can you think that this is not something to where you're like, bro, how is this happening right now? We're 8 seasons in and this is happening? Stop it.
Here's my question.
Stop it.
Are you a Ross Rachel fan?
Fuck yeah, I'm a Ross Rachel fan. Okay,
we can't.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm a Zach and Kelly fan, bro. Okay, like I'm a Corey and Topanga fan. This is one of those things.
Friends for us,
Ross and Rachel were meant to be together.
I'm Monica and Chandler all day.
Oh no, but I like that too, though. I'm not. I thought you were like, are you cool with them being together?
Whatever.
There's no wait. As far as Friends goes, there's no rivalry there. Those are each their own. Entities.
It becomes a rivalry when you start discussing like which one of them is a better couple.
Because they're their own things. I don't think it's fair to compare. All 4 of them are completely different people.
Which couple do you find more interesting? Is the question really? Monica and Chandler, or
Monica and Chandler are definitely more interesting because they're more weird. Okay, Rachel. See, Monica's weird, and so is Chandler. When you add that weirdness together, it gets, magnified.
I love Chandler.
Rachel is not weird at all. But Ross is weird. He's a nerd. He's a geek. Okay, what is he, a fucking paleontologist, bro? Like, seriously, who knows any paleontologists, bro? Who's like, I want to be a paleontologist when I grow up? Nobody.
Right.
Okay, people want to be fucking rock stars and porn stars. This dude's like, I want to play with dinosaurs. So, you know, he's totally a geek, bro. So the fact that when you put them together, they're just not gonna be as interesting.
Yeah.
But their love story by far outweighs Chandler and Monica. Okay? You got the sweater scene, which is one of the best scenes ever. Hey, my sweater! Okay? And everyone goes, oh my God! And then 10 seconds goes by and Joey goes, oh my God! Alright? That's one of the best fucking ways to reveal anything that I've seen. Like, when you watch that scene, you're just like, okay, that's amazing. You know, and there's a lot of great dialogue. But my point that maybe if I compare it to this, I told Ernest this. You take a show like Breaking Bad season 1, I think it has like 8 episodes.
Yes, correct.
Okay?
Correct.
If that show ended right then and there, it could be one of the greatest series ever. Because it's 8 episodes, they told you everything they needed to tell you, and they didn't have to tell you anymore.
Well, when Funny was sick and what he had to do and all that, and
yeah, but I don't even know what I'm saying. Well, I mean, how long ago did we watch Breaking Bad?
It's been 7, 8 years.
Because I don't remember a lot of it.
It's really good. But
no, I know.
We watched it.
Yeah, I know
just
that.
don't remember.
I'm talking about the season itself, not the series. I'm like, the first season was really,
He's
really,
right,
really
though.
good.
Everything you need to show you, it was there.
Just because you have more episodes doesn't mean that the content is better or that the story is better.
Right.
I think that writers and everyone, and even the actual, companies that make these shows need to let people be creative, and when it's time for it to be over, like, that's it.
Let it go.
You know what I mean? These processes always start with someone has a story to tell. Okay? Don't tell me the story in 35 episodes if 15 will do.
Right.
Now, if you need 15, like, I'm fine with that. But if you look at a lot of network shows, Gotham is a perfect example.
Supernatural is a perfect example.
Right.
If you've ever watched, that's a 15-season show that just ended. But the majority of the time, if you watch it, because there are 20-some-odd seasons or 20-some-odd episodes per season, and at least 6 or 7 out of them every season has nothing to do with building the story.
Could I argue, though,
nothing
a lot of that also, too, is network television. The shows you mentioned, that filler, Gotham, Supernatural, all network television shows.
It's mostly network TV.
Right.
It's mostly network TV. That's why I do love the aspect of the streaming service.
Yes.
Because it becomes more tailored to, we don't have to pay for advertising to get another episode. Because sometimes people are like, no, we want this many
Streaming
episodes.
is changing not just the way we watch TV, but the way it's written as well, too.
Yes, how it's created.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because someone can literally go, have you guys ever watched Black Mirror?
No, but I need to.
I watched the first season.
No, I didn't know what you were pointing at.
The phone.
I was blinded.
The flash of light.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got it
No. No,
shit. What were you just saying?
No, you said Black Mirror.
Okay,
Talk
so
about
have you guys watched Black Mirror?
No,
I watched the first season.
You did, right?
Yeah.
I hated it.
You need to watch, I told you, the only thing that's continuity with that show is the technology that's shown. So there are different stories that are told throughout all seasons. But my point
hated it.
But my point is, though, is like the first season is 3 episodes. The second season is like 4 episodes, okay? It doesn't have to be 35 episodes of The Twilight Zone. If you got 4 good stories to tell your 4 good stories.
That's the same thing with like American Horror Stories. Each season is a different thing.
I never watched anything after the first season because the first season was so bad. And I finished the whole first season. I don't
watch the first season. I never have watched the first season.
I can tell you.
But I watched the second season, the third season, the fourth season.
And every season, obviously, it's its own storyline. So,
but each season is a different thing completely.
I thought it was trash.
The first season, again, I will not watch. I started it and it was trash.
I love how we go from Ted Lasso to Friends to like TV network.
No, I like the actors in that show, like especially Evan Peters. He's phenomenal in like any role in that show. But
I think I like him in 3 to Tango.
Yeah, I never saw that.
You're missing out on a lot of stuff.
I like my comfort show.
It's okay. I know. But remember, you have to watch things that you've never watched before. You have to watch things that you might not be interested in.
Was it Goliath? He says,
I never have to watch anything that I'm not interested in. I don't ever have to.
Well, the thing is, I will say that it is easier now it is more privy to doing that now because there's so much content now. So much shows you can say you want to watch, you don't want to watch, between so many streaming services that right now you can pick and choose what you want.
But I refuse to watch something bad. I'm not going to watch something bad.
If you
trash
either A, could you identify before you watch the show if that's a bad show?
I feel like there are tall tale signs.
That's what she's saying. Like
she'll tall tale signs.
She'll look at a trailer and like,
It never has something to do with the trailer.
Right.
Okay. You have to look at, I think the production value. Okay,
there's a process of elimination, obviously, of how you decide to delve in that thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I've never been one of those people that rented B movies or C movies. I've hung out with people and they're like, bro, you want to watch this movie? And it's like, Iron Dragon the 5th. And I'm like, why are we...
Waste of time.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? I've never even heard of this film.
What?
Okay.
A random B C movie. Yeah,
like,
a random B movie.
movie that Dolph Lundgren's ever done. Have you seen it? My buddy got it tonight at Redbox. He's super excited to watch
Home Alone
it.
5.
I'm never watching that. I have no interest to watch that.
No, me neither. I'm the same way.
But I like watching things that are innovative.
Right.
Okay, that have never been done before, that are creative, that are thought-provoking. Okay. I know you don't like Jason Bateman. In my opinion, one of the best movies I think he's ever done is This Is Where I Leave You. And it's a really good drama. Okay. It's fucking phenomenal.
I can't watch it.
And I'm not telling you to, I'm just saying.
Jason Bateman and
Billy Bob
Thornton is her.
Kerry Washington.
And Kerry Washington, good lord. We're not gonna get to that one. That's just too much.
Billy Bob, I can't even tell you why. Because I don't know. I hate Billy Bob Thornton in anything I ever see him in. And I have watched him in multiple roles. And I hate him in every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason Bateman, I can tell you which movie.
What movie was it?
It's a Zach Braff movie. It's
not Garden State, is it?
No. It's my ex-girlfriend or my ex-something. And Jason Bateman plays this asshole who pretends that he's in a wheelchair because he wants the girl.
Did I see the movie with you also too?
For him, probably.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need to be in the wheelchair. He can walk. He's not handicapped. And for me, now, part of my background is my dad was handicapped. So when I see a role like that...
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that you got mad at an actor for playing a role and not at the actual person.
It's not
Because of the fact that an actor played a role fucking well and affected you in an emotional way,
you will fucking
watch... So because he's a good actor and his creative work affects you, I refuse to watch any other role. And I'm going to judge this person on a personal level.
I don't judge him on a personal level.
I'm just saying.
It's that role. I can't watch him in any role because that role sticks with me. So even if he plays a good person in a movie, I'm still going to think he's an asshole. Yes, it is a personal issue. But it's me. That's just me.
I think that you need to work on that.
I don't need to work on it.
Okay.
I have 5,000 other things I've worked on.
That's her process of elimination.
Because I don't have to watch anything with Jason Bateman.
Nobody's
forcing me to. Nobody's making me watch these things. That's what I'm saying.
You lucky I don't live here, I'd be fucking around all the time. I'd be like, yo, come watch the Switch. What's up? Like, oh my god, we'd be woo. Be like, hey baby, the change up is next. Okay.
Well, see, he doesn't care about that kind of stuff. He cares about that. He cares about football.
Honestly, like I'm so
football,
over,
wrestling.
I'm so over sports.
You are.
I really, really, really am. I think it's so trivial.
I don't blame
you. I think it's so trivial.
Hi, Lauren Christian, Ernest's wife.
No, like I get it. Like if you want to, if you want to have fun and sit down and just kind of like turn your brain off or whatever. But like, it's just so.
I don't live and die by
I
it.
feel like it's archaic now. Even like as much as I used to love basketball, I almost kind of like judge myself. Like, what were you thinking, man?
I like basketball. I don't like football.
Okay, what I'm saying is though, it's okay to like basketball, but like, why are people so enthralled by sports?
Oh, that I never.
They're just so addicted to it.
I can tell you why.
It's such a big part.
I can say for myself.
Those people don't know you exist. Okay, it's unbelievable.
It's escapism. Escapism.
For you, it's escapism.
For people who like it a lot. Now I can. I
sure
can. Now I can understand where it comes from in terms of like the idea of like making it be a be all end all and getting away with getting in the way of like moves and stuff. That I'm not there anymore.
Dude, well, you just said escapism. Escapism. People get mad at this shit, so it's not escapism. Motherfuckers break the TV with golf clubs,
right?
And then they end up on TikTok.
Oh, I don't know that shit, dude. I
didn't say you did, but there are people that do it.
Then they're idiots.
And
they're idiots.
Over what?
I mean,
over what? What are they doing it over?
There is a YouTube video of this one playing Madden and getting so angry at the game that he got up in the TV space.
I was also 26 years old. Before marriage, before kids. Okay, I am now 41.
You did used to be one of those people.
Time, he's just upset at his own failures. When this happens, he's not on the field playing.
Right.
But technically, he had something to do with that horrible outcome.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
So,
pass interference?
It's on YouTube somewhere. I gotta find
Fucking
it.
pass interference?
I gotta find it on YouTube. Is it on Lauren's page?
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta find that.
But he did used to be that way. He's calmed down a lot.
No, a lot of it too also is maturity.
I don't know
parents.
one person that literally does honestly play video games and has never gotten mad. So that just happens. But at the same time, you've never been like a gamer then. There's no way.
Yes, I have.
No, there's no way.
I've
been trying to beat a level. You've died 300 fucking times in a row.
Yes.
You just died the 400th time, and you go, "Oh my god, it made me so much fun." Yes. No, you're trying to beat that shit.
But I don't get,
I got pissed when my son beat me and freaking.
I don't get to the point where I'm screaming at it. I don't get to the point where I'm in its face. I don't get to the point where I throw my controller. I don't get to the point. But that's what you're talking about. People who fucking break their TVs with golf.
No, that was on the sports thing. But I said I don't know a gamer. It's not the same thing. I said I don't know a gamer that actually plays video games that doesn't get mad. Now everyone handles anger differently. That outlet, how they control themselves, I'm not predicting that for every single person.
Right.
But what I'm saying is people that sit down and try to go, I'm going to accomplish this, I'm going to try to beat this game, I'm going to play this game game's going to be my bitch. And when they're the ones getting fucked, it's not a good time. Trust me. Watch people on Twitch, alright?
Oh, it's bad.
Watch people on Twitch.
Watch on TikTok.
I've seen it happen.
So that's all I'm saying.
How do we get from Ted Lasso to Friends to streaming versus network television to sports and reaction?
I think this is just how Ron and I work. Like the way our brains operate.
This is fun. I mean, I'm definitely okay with it. I
like we have to discuss every topic.
This podcast is based on what it said on the intro, free flowing conversation.
Right, but I think that's just how.
What's wrong with politics?
I just don't.
I love politics.
We can't talk politics.
Everybody
I mean,
else
the
out there
three of
is
us
open.
could talk politics, but no, not on a podcast.
I don't think there's anything interesting talking about right now.
No, I'm burnt on that. I told you.
Bro, listen, what is it? It's October 10th. So.
Oh my gosh, it's 10/10 on 10/10.
Are we gonna start? When do we start in year 3 of COVID? Okay.
Yeah.
Couple months.
Yeah.
Like. So yeah.
Ridiculous.
I'm over this shit.
It's 10/10 on 10/10.
Yeah, I'm over it
Is
too.
that like a special time?
No,
absolutely not. But it's 10/10.
You said October 10th.
It's 10/10.
You said that, it's 10/10 now.
Yeah, but it's 10/10/21. It would be cool if it was 10/10/10. At 10/10.
That's true. Yeah, but fortunately, that was 11 years ago.
I guess we missed that.
11 years ago.
I mean, I don't think I knew you 11 years ago, so I couldn't.
No, we talking about we do 11 years ago.
I did. I'm exactly about
11 years ago, we knew it. Yeah.
She's bad at math, bro.
Bro, are you serious?
She's bad at math.
We know Ron. We know
since 2007.
He's gonna Renaissance our house all the time and play poker.
No, I know that, but like I don't know. I have 2 children.
It's cool.
My brain is mush.
It's cool to just give up like you did and then blame it on your baby. Okay, that's cool.
Well, I'm a mom. I have mom brain. Mom brain is
your mom brain's off the
brain
chain.
is real.
Well, this goes to one of the things that I said. Even parents aren't supposed to be parents 24/7.
That's true.
So remember that.
Go back to Ted Lasso real quick. Right now, we're 2 seasons in. Top 3 characters right now. Your favorite characters.
If you want the truth, I think that Roy has become the best character on the show.
Oh, without question.
Like, I really do believe that.
Yes.
Roy has become the best character.
Roy, really, if you think about it in comparison to another Bill Lawrence show, Roy is Dr. Cox. And she's a character arc.
No.
You're supposed to hate him?
It's not the redhead dude,
No.
I don't even know that show. I know you guys are talking about it.
No, I'm not saying the exact thing, but Roy is supposed to kind of hate, but he's actually.
Yeah, but you're never supposed to hate Dr. Cox.
Well, he's a dick. He's a dick.
But I think, but you see in the very first episode that he's not really a dick.
Well, you see also the first episode that he's still a dick early on, and then you realize that, oh wait, he is the hero. He is the one that has the
No, that's not what I'm saying.
better character.
You know that he's still a good.
He's a flawed
person.
human. He's a flawed good human.
No, he's a good person.
Right.
You see that in the first episode, but you also see that he has anger issues. That he is going through a lot of shit in his life.
Who? Roy Kent?
I was talking about Dr. Cox.
Well, Roy Kent also too.
Roy Kent was never going through shit in his life.
Right.
Roy Kent never went through.
He was
anything.
just angry.
He was Love and Harold his whole football career. He clearly had money, so much money that he does not have to worry about a job, about what he does. He doesn't have to worry. He's very well taken care of. Okay, I think that I don't even think he was angry.
I think he's angry.
No, it's not angry. It's his personality, and This is why I said
he's an introvert.
Well, hold on. This is why I said I think he has one of the greatest character arcs of the show so far.
Easily.
It's because of he was a certain way for so long that he just was that way. He almost didn't even know why he was that way. Okay, and when Keeley really came into his life, he started to embrace life a little bit more. You definitely saw a completely different side of him, and he started to open up. Like I said, now he will just straight open up to Keeley and say things that he never was saying in season 1 or anything like that.
Yeah.
So he is a completely different person as to who he is now. You saw that in the hug with Jamie, in the conversation with Jamie, and he's even realizing his changes. That's why he was like, I fucking forgave him. I'm still fucking mad at myself for doing that. He knows he's doing the right thing. Yeah. He knows he's changing. If that was, a year or 2 ago and that happened, oh my God, Jamie's dead. Right. Okay? We're never seeing Jamie again. So...
No, I'm 100%. I think Roy Kent is my favorite character on the show.
Roy has become the best character, probably.
I mean, obviously, Nate's character arc has definitely changed, too, from the beginning.
And to be fair, they haven't gone dark enough with Ted yet. So that's why. Because Ted...
But maybe
they're holding out for that, for the dip.
I don't know. But if you look at the characters, Ted shot out like a rocket, almost like he jumped off the TV and he was in your living room. Yeah. Okay? He's not that way anymore. He's plateaued for a while.
Dude, Ron, I thought we were getting that in the finale because it was all set up for that. Between the Nate betrayal and all that, and him going through all that.
But that would have been completely outside of his character.
Well, I mean, I didn't think anything was going to happen besides Nate leaving because of the fact that they even said, if you remember the season finale of season 1, Ted kind of, gives us a little foreshadowing when he's like, can you guys get promoted? You're like, can we get back into the Premier League?
Right.
And she's like, yeah, cool. So next year we'll get promoted, and then we'll do something no one ever thought could be done. Win the whole fucking thing.
Right.
So I think we're on a good path right now. But I do think that it's going to get darker.
I hope it does.
Things are going to happen,
Well, you can see for Ted, first of all, I mean, isn't it? It's like two of the most top anxiety-causing things are like divorce and moving. Like they're.
His was a lot of it though was his father's suicide.
Well, that too, but I think he just buried that down, and just convinced himself that it wasn't there, and that's how he stayed so positive all the time. But then when he starts going through a divorce, he moves to a new country.
He had his family.
Right.
When the family breaks up and he's all on his own.
Yep.
You know, when I split from my ex, okay, one of the hardest things to deal with was the fact that it was quiet.
Yeah.
All the time. I was in a room by myself and just dealing with that silence. A lot of things come to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you start to think about the past, the decisions that you've made, things that have led you here, you know. And I think everything that Ted was dealing with, plus his past, plus the fact that when you're a person like Ted Lasso, you always are putting yourself last.
Yeah.
You're giving up so much of yourself to make sure everyone else is okay.
Yeah.
You're never taking the time for self-healing.
Right.
And that's one of the things for me individually as a person that I've been focusing on for a couple years now is just my own self-happiness, my own mental health. And because you are responsible for that on this planet. It's no one else's job to make sure that you're okay. Yep. It's not their job. If they do it because they want to do it, or maybe they have an ulterior motive, whatever it may be, but at the end of the day, when you wake up, you have choices to make. You have decisions that are in front of you. Yep. And you can choose what you want. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's say.
Okay, so my top 3 easily are Roy, Beard, and Sam.
Not a big fan of Beard.
What's wrong with Beard?
Listen, I love him, but in my opinion...
He seems reckless.
No.
You think he's reckless?
He's unstable.
No. He's still too much of a mystery. We're 2 seasons in.
He's
still too much of a mystery. And the worst episode by far out of all of the episodes was his solo episode. Like, I'm never going to go back and watch it. Okay? There's no need to watch it. And
it was weird.
I think that, like, Beard hardly ever interacts with any of the players. Okay?
For me, with Beard, it's his loyalty to Ted.
Even with the situation.
But I also I do like him as a character. My point is, what I'm trying to say is, I want more from him. Like, if we've been talking about character development and character arcs. Yeah. Okay? What has Beard given us? He's given us a lot of good insight. Mm-hmm. We know he's smart. We know he's knowledgeable. We know he's got good timing. We know he's loyal. But we need more. Is that really just...
That's a good comparison.
Is that really just what he's going to be? This is not a show where you just show up and you're this way. But
what if that's his life? What if he's lived his life and he's just content in where he's at?
Well, we don't know that. Maybe we'd like to know that, is my point.
Maybe that's what season 3 for.
If I'm he is content in where he's at, he's not gonna. There's not gonna be character development.
Okay, but my problem right now with what you're saying is you are speculating. What I'm saying is I want to know. You don't know. You're speculating, and so you're going, oh, maybe he's happy with where he is and he has no more development.
Well, I'm just saying, if that's the case.
He needs to walk the fuck away from Jane. And Ted needs to be like, dude, get the fuck away from that crazy psycho. Okay?
He's my favorite.
Straight up, bro. When they were at the bar, hey, what's up, man? How's Jane? We broke up. We're back on. Dude, walk away. Toxic. Okay? Seriously.
But I think that episode that you want to hate is also confirming that, he is definitely has a lot of issues.
You know my biggest problem with that episode, honestly?
What is it?
Okay. And
episode 10, by the way.
This was happening with like 2 or 3 shows that I was watching at the same time, by the way. Like, I would watch this show.
2 shows?
I can't honestly remember off the top of my head. I think one of them was Goliath.
Okay.
And it had to do, I have this problem.
Which, by the way, Zach Degenerate has already said, you need to watch that too. So Zach. Listeners of No Degenerate, of course, in the podcast. So. But he said yesterday. He said yesterday, go watch Goliath.
I'm telling you, season 1 is really fucking good. Like, it's seriously worth watching.
What movie?
Okay.
It was Monster
Ball is
with Halle Berry. That was the second.
Okay, so listen.
I think it might be Love Actually.
He's not in the movie?
He's not.
No, it's another one with Hugh Grant.
Music
I
and
don't remember Hugh Grant and Billy Bob being in the movie.
No, music and lyrics.
Billy Bob was the American president, and Hugh Grant was the prime minister.
I don't ever remember
Of England. I think it's Love
Billy
Actually.
Bob being a president.
Me do I. Anyway, go ahead, you're saying?
So my problem with episode 10, okay, which is the same problem that I have in general. I don't have an issue if there's a character in an episode or a movie or whatever that's hallucinating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with that.
Right.
I'm totally fine with people seeing shit that's not there.
Right.
But you, as a creator of the show,
Mm-hmm.
have to make it clear to the viewer when it can be very unclear if what we're seeing is actually happening or if it's just a facade.
Right.
Because with that episode,
Mm-hmm.
there were times where I'm like, dude, this just doesn't match up, bro. Like, Beard's been gone for like 6 hours. You're telling me that Jane stayed at this club for 6 hours,
Right.
okay, wasn't sweaty, wasn't drunk, had been there,
Mm-hmm.
stopped texting him, and then all of a sudden started texting him again. Then he shows up and she magically appears. There was a lot of weird shit that happened in that episode.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And I was just trying. It was very confusing.
Well, I acknowledge it was a weird show. It was a weird episode.
You know what I mean?
acknowledge that.
And like I said, the same thing was happening in another show that I was watching, and you're just like, dude,
Maybe the combination.
what's going on? Like, is this really here?
What I
Or
would
are
do,
just fucking
because you said you
James
watched
there?
it. Oh, he was U.S. president.
Oh,
Right.
he what?
Sorry. Sorry, honey.
He's the dickhead. What?
No.
You literally just watched Crazy Stupid Love like a couple weeks ago, and you said that you love Steve Carell. I don't know what you
A couple
said.
days ago.
But
Couple days ago. Last Sunday.
I've seen
Fuck that.
other things by Steve Carell that wasn't that movie.
I don't care. You didn't see that one.
But there were other movies that he did that were bigger than that movie.
I'm just saying you didn't see that one.
No, but that just
It's an
because I
important
say
one
I
to
love
watch.
an actor doesn't mean I'm going to watch everything done by them.
No, I just thought you would watch some of their best shit ever. You know what I mean? So, hey.
I mean, okay, you were right. It was a great movie, and I did happen to love it.
I didn't watch it.
But it was not introduced to me back then.
Oh, that's okay. That's one of those movies that falls in the same category as Moneyball. I came home one night. It was
Is that
when
the
I was
one we
working late.
saw with Brad Pitt?
Mm-hmm.
I was working late night, and
We saw it in theaters.
I came home. It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I put on Crazy Stupid Love. I'd never watched it before. I just started watching it, and it was so fucking good. I couldn't stop watching it. I stayed up, watched the whole movie, and I'm like, oh my god, how have I never seen this film? And the same thing happened with Moneyball, you know. And that's how, in my opinion, how I can judge stuff. If it's pulling me in, and if it's very engaging, you know, it's hard for me to stop watching it. And I hate baseball, by the way. I think that Moneyball is one of the best baseball movies ever. I know people love Sandlot.
There's.
I love Sandlot.
Well, I've never seen Sandlot. So
Are you serious?
I've never seen Sandlot. I don't like baseball.
Wow.
You know what baseball movies I grew up watching? Angels in the
Outfield.
Outfield, Little
I
Big
love
League,
Angels
Rookie
in
of
the
the Year.
Okay, so Sandlot is in that game.
I know, but I didn't.
You need to watch
I
it.
never liked baseball.
Watch
As
it.
someone who
Watch,
hates
watch it with
outfield,
your kid.
As someone who loves Angels in the Outfield, Sandlot is much better than that.
Watch it.
And I love Angels in the
No,
Outfield.
you're wrong. You're dead wrong.
What?
You're dead wrong.
Who would think that she would get upset about baseball movies?
I don't like baseball movies, but you're dead wrong. You should watch it with your
What,
kid.
because Danny Glover? Danny Glover, is that why?
No, but I love Danny Glover too. No.
Oh my god, this makes no sense.
This
So
movie-
like, I love Danny Glover, so I'll watch any Danny Glover movie. But I fucking
Lethal
love Billy
Weapon.
Bob in one movie, but I fucking hate the character.
No.
So
I
I'll never
hate
watch
Billy Bob in anything I see him in every single thing I have ever seen him in.
the last
Okay,
one,
I
so.
hate him. I hate him in every
He's literally like one of the two
single
scenes, that's
role I've ever seen him in. And I'm telling you, it's
He was
be-
really good in
I hate his
Armageddon.
voice. I hate his
It's really
voice.
good in Armageddon.
I
Did he
hate
give
his
his
voice.
life?
Huh?
Did he give his life in that movie or no?
No. He was on planet Earth, bro.
Yes, he was he was what was he again?
He worked in NASA.
I've seen
Right,
him
he
again
was on the ground,
once.
yeah.
I hate his voice. I hate his mannerisms. I hate there's something about him that just irks me to like my very core.
Yeah, I still think
And I
it's a me
can't
problem.
watch
That's
it.
okay, though.
Yes, it is a me problem. It's
It's a
my
made
personal
up. It's a
problem.
made up thing, but it's okay.
It's not-
It's okay.
You've
It's all
never met
good.
somebody in your life that you just can't stand?
I mean, yes and no.
We're recording for the record.
So, but like yes and no. Like at the same time, okay. You normally no. I'm okay. Thank you though. Dude, we're talking about fucking virtual entertainment. We're talking about fucking TV.
Right,
you can fucking turn it off. Like, it's not someone that you fucking hate with a passion living with you for a week and you're like, oh my god, I can't deal with this.
No, but that's what I'm saying is I've stopped watching things that have him in it because he gets under my skin.
That's okay. You still should watch Goliath.
I can't do it.
Okay. It's
for the same reason I can't watch Ozark.
Oh man, Ozark's so fucking good.
I need to watch that.
Ozark is so good.
I don't know. I can't.
That's a really good role for Jason Bateman. He's really good in that role. For sure.
When he came out
do you
with
like
Horrible
since the topic of Steve Carell did come up, I wanted to ask you, do you like Date Night?
Date Night's okay.
I really like that. I think it's awesome. I think it's really, really, really good. You seem to maybe not be remembering it, or you're trying to think about something right now.
No, it's him and...
The look on your face, Tina Fey.
Yeah. No, I did see that one.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Common.
No, I did see that one.
Right.
That one's okay. I don't get mad. I get mad at, what's the other... Get Smart, I think is what he did.
Okay, so I have this thing. I pretty much fucking hate slapstick, stupid comedy.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of it. So like, Will Ferrell turned me off for a long time because of the type of comedies he did.
I mean, I never saw Step Brothers, and people tell me I should watch that.
I really don't know what the fuck, you know.
But
I don't know where you decided to wake up one day and just make fucking bad decisions. Okay, but like, Ernest, you should really talk to your fucking wife.
Have you ever seen Step Brothers?
Huh?
Have you ever seen Step Brothers?
Terrible movie.
It's definitely not terrible.
You've never seen it?
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
That's a Farrelly Brothers movie.
It's definitely not
I
terrible.
don't like it. I wasn't a fan.
It's definitely not terrible.
Wasn't a fan.
Okay.
I think you might be thinking of a different movie.
No, I know what it is. It's not
Because
great.
everybody I know tells me I need to watch Step Brothers.
Yeah. You can watch it once.
Okay,
Not a fan
so
of it.
there came a point in my life where I stopped watching movies.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know
That happened in the
why.
last 10 years, though.
Okay, I just stopped watching movies. I can't tell you why. I just stopped watching movies.
Shit happens.
Okay, and then he is the hardest person to ever sit down and watch anything with.
Why?
ADD.
I have ADHD, bro.
I'm pretty bad.
No,
sure I'm
he's
pretty a
got
little bit higher than
ADHD
you.
too.
Like, you're sitting still. My fucking leg is moving
Right now,
over here.
high.
So
Yeah, he's calm. But, no.
I should be too.
You're
But
you're numb to
you're-
this shit
we-
now.
We can have this discussion. I think I lost my train of thought.
We recorded this shit.
Oh, so, okay. There have been shows that he and I have been agreeing to watch together for the past decade at least. That we...
Sick backlog.
We can go on a list
We
right
have
now. The
either-
Sopranos, the Newsroom, Boardwalk
The Newsroom
Empire.
is so good. Please
It's
watch the Newsroom.
No, we almost finished it.
Watch,
These are
like,
shows
the
you
first couple
started,
seasons.
haven't finished yet.
Right.
I
So,
think there's only 3 seasons.
Yeah, 4. I think it's 4. Maybe 3, but it's 4. No, 3, 4.
I mean, his rant is one of my favorite rants.
Oh, God.
Just the character of Jeff Daniels.
Jeff
Yeah.
Daniels is amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Anyway.
I think it's Phil McAvoy.
Yes.
Something like that.
Will McAvoy.
Or Will McAvoy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. The dynamic. The guy that plays Charlie.
Yeah, the older guy. He passed away, didn't he?
Oh my god. There's a scene.
Waterston?
He was in Law and Order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that guy, there's a scene between him and Olivia Nunn. And it is so amazing. How far did you guys get in the show?
A couple seasons.
Two seasons.
So, did you see where it was the Fukushima radiation leak and she was on air, okay, with someone, and she pulled out her earpiece, okay, and had a completely wild segment. And afterwards, she comes out and damn, I can't remember her love interest, her producer.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but he was sitting there and she was like stone cold face. She comes out the room. She's like realizing everything that just happened. And he's like...
Sam Waterston, by the way. Waterston.
He's sitting there and he's just like, sup? And she's like, okay, before you say anything, he's like, relax. Just give it 5 seconds. We've all been there before, okay? So whatever happens. She's like, what happens in 5 seconds? He's like, just hang on for another 10 seconds. And then the next thing you know, Charlie busts through the room. What the fuck was that? And it's so good. They have, honestly, one of the best, like, real moments I've ever seen. And it's just the writing on that show, the acting on that show is absolutely top notch.
Yeah.
It sucks though because they were doing real life.
Yeah.
And there's only so much that you can do. It kind of comes back to, okay, we can stop now, and the story's good, and if we keep writing, it's probably not going to be so good.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of shows run into.
Oh wait, I'm not scaring anybody, but he is still alive. I apologize. He's 80 years old.
I'd be very sad if you did that.
No, he's still alive. He's still alive. I apologize. I didn't want to scare anybody.
2 celebrity deaths have ever bothered me in my entire life. Chris Farley.
Chris Farley? Wow.
I was
But
a
you don't
really...
like slapsticks?
He's not slapstick in my opinion.
He died what, 90?
He wasn't. Tommy Boy isn't slapstick.
Chris Farley died what, 90 what, 90?
Tommy Boy's not slapstick. Black Sheep's not slapstick.
We have 2 completely different definitions.
Chris Farley died in 90...
I feel like slapstick is almost like stupid comedy.
97, thank you.
I'm not a Chris Farley fan.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't find it funny.
Like,
I'm not a huge Ben Stiller fan.
So I'm gonna confess
but
something here publicly.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I am not a racist person whatsoever. Okay?
Sorry, baby.
Except when it comes to comedy.
what does that mean? You only like black comedians?
For some reason, I lean in more towards black comedians than anything else. Now, Jim Carrey. No,
because you like. Oh my gosh, what's that?
but growing up anyway, I was an Eddie Murphy guy, Richard Pryor,
Well,
you know,
that has to do with what we're
Martin
raised on,
Lawrence,
because
you
I
know,
was
the
raised
whole
on
nine.
that, though.
Cat Williams, you name it. I've always leaned more into more.
Trash.
You think it's trash?
I think he's so trash.
Get on your grind, boo boo. He's hysterical.
I think Kevin Hart's trash.
Kevin Hart's overrated.
Kevin
Kevin Hart's
Hart's
overrated. I agree with you on that
I don't
one.
like Chris Rock either.
I don't like Chris Rock either. That's right.
To be fair though, Chris Rock was the best host the VMAs ever had in 1999.
Dude, he was okay. He was
His
good.
opening monologue was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's like, 1999 VMAs about to go into 2000.
What is
We
it?
thought we was
Was
going
it-
to have flying cars, moving sidewalks. Man, we thought it was going to be like the Jetsons. We ain't even the Jeffersons yet. Very good.
I have to admit, he was very good. Yeah.
I don't remember what show it was, but I think it was Ricky Gervais who hosted it, and his whole opening was just
Ricky Gervais's best thing that he ever did on an award show was what he did
Last year?
at the Emmys.
Oh, this year.
When
Last year.
The last time when he goes, it's
When
the
he
last
called
time.
out
It's
Hollywood.
the last time. Okay, seriously, guys, the companies you work for, Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, I bet you'd call your agent. It was fucking
when he
phenomenal.
called out Hollywood.
It
Yeah.
was absolutely
Loved it.
phenomenal.
I
When
loved
he
it.
called out priests that molest
Yes.
children. Yes, it was absolutely phenomenal. Which,
Yes.
by the way, if you haven't seen Spotlight, anyone, please watch
Where's
Spotlight.
that?
I haven't watched that.
I heard about that. Where's that?
You guys really make bad decisions.
No, where's that?
We don't
Okay.
have time.
Spotlight you can watch on.
Hey, Ron.
Last time I saw it was on Netflix. Okay.
We can
I would
only get
definitely-
through one series at a time.
It's not a series. It's a movie. It's a movie. It's a
You don't
movie with
watch
an all-star cast. It is about. It is about a group of reporters who call themselves Spotlight, and they work for the Boston Globe.
Yes, right here.
And this is about
Yeah.
the Catholic Church molesting children, the Catholic Church knowing about it, covering it up, and all kinds of stuff. If you have not watched Spotlight, everyone
Mark Ruffalo was in
needs
it.
to watch
Mark
Spotlight.
Ruffalo, Michael Keaton.
It's a phenomenal cast.
I've heard of this before, actually.
It's absolutely
Rich McAdams. Lee Schreiber's on this, too. That's
really,
Ray Donovan.
really good.
Oh, wait.
I know.
Oh, wait, no. Another show got to finish
That's
up.
another show we haven't finished.
Yeah, Ray
What's it
Donovan?
called?
Ray
Ray
Donovan.
Donovan.
I've never watched it.
You might like that, actually.
I don't know, man. You guys like Dexter, and I couldn't even get through 10 minutes of it.
Really?
Okay,
I
no,
think
I
Dexter's
get,
fucking
no,
trash.
I get
I
why.
think Dexter's so bad.
I get why. I totally understand.
Worse
why.
than
Maybe it's just because you might know me, because I don't even
No,
know why I don't fucking like it.
No. I can. Dexter took me a long time to get into. And even the second season...
You hate it.
I hate it.
Because of the villain in that one.
Right. But that's the thing is, there's a lot in that show. I can understand why. I'm at that point with Ray Donovan, though. I'm at the point where they're throwing stuff in there for the sake of throwing something in there that doesn't need to be in there. Because they could have continued in the way that they were going.
Then let me finish the show without you, please.
Then let me finish Sopranos without you.
I tried to 2 years ago. You won't let me do it.
You've got to be kidding me.
What?
You want to sit here and argue about Sopranos right now?
Lauren, I could have finished that like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
This feels more like I'm kind of like an audience member.
A little bit.
Instead of like actually being involved in the conversation.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Here,
little sidebar here.
I'll give you an update. Okay. We tried watching The Sopranos how long ago for the first time?
We started about 10 years ago.
Okay. Got into the second season. This one was like, oh, I need a break. It's too much drama for me. I need a break.
Well, I
need to watch something funny.
Depending on what you're binging, it can be really hard.
Breaking Bad was a full while.
I can get
Breaking
that.
Bad was a lot for me.
The problem with
Do
him...
you know that I binged Breaking Bad like the old school way? First of all, I started Breaking Bad probably like a month or two after it ended, okay? And I was watching on fucking Blu-rays. Like, someone bought me, like, the first season on Blu-ray.
Right.
And I was like, all right, cool. You know what? Fuck it. Let's watch it. And I watched the first season. I was like, oh, my God, this shit's so good. Where can I get the second season? And, like, it wasn't on Netflix yet, bro. Okay.
No.
So I literally was going to Best Buys and shit and I watched the second season on Blu-ray. Next day, where's season 3? Go get season 3. And then after that, I was like, fuck it. I'm getting 4 and 5 right now.
Yeah.
See... He can't binge shows like that, though.
You're different from me. I also watch a lot more.
Okay, to be fair, both of you guys have 2 kids. Okay? Alright? That takes up a lot.
I also watch this. I also watch that.
I could binge watch anything.
You know, Ernest, your biggest problem is the fact that you watch content that was made fucking 30 years ago, bro. Continuously.
What do you mean?
You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Wrestling?
I'm not gonna blast you.
I haven't watched wrestling.
Listen,
No.
I'm not fucking talking, my man. I'm not talking about current wrestling, but like you spend a lot of time watching shit that is fucking that you've already seen.
True, but I haven't watched old wrestling in probably about 2 months now. It's been a while.
I mean, whether you have or you haven't, that's not the point. The point is you
listen. If you watch something
and
then you don't watch it for like 10 years and then you go back and watch it, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay,
no.
You watch shit that you probably watched like recently, and then you're like, oh man, this shit was so good, bro. I'm gonna watch that shit again.
WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 4, let's go.
He can binge part of a show, and then he'll stop, and either take a break or he'll get distracted by something else, and then...
How can that be possible? I'm only doing that if the show sucks. You either lose interest in the show or the show becomes bad.
All the time.
So then he's either losing interest in the show, either the show is not engaging anymore, he's not focused, his mind is somewhere else.
ADHD.
That's what happens.
Usually what ends up happening is there's some sort of sport that comes up or some sort of
This is why, like, pre-COVID time, the best time to do this shit is when you get sick. Okay?
Yes.
You get a cold for a week, backlog time. Okay?
Yep.
Jump right in there.
The only show that this man ever binge watched was Entourage.
God, Entourage was so bad.
The movie or the show?
I never watched the movie because I didn't finish the show, but the show is so fucking bad.
You like the show at all?
No. That, I will say right there, that is a show that did not age well. Okay?
I agree with that. I agree with
you. Watch it in the early 2000s because it was a different fucking time.
When did we watch it?
We watched it years after it ended. The last time we binged it probably 2011, 2010, 2011.
Okay, so that's still at that time. This is a show that was
before
early
kids.
2000s, mid 2000s
show. I can
so
agree with you
times are different.
Well.
When I'm watching this show, I'm going, holy fuck, who wrote this and put this on TV? And like, this was popular.
That show would fly today.
And I know it was a big hit back in the day, but I'm just saying, as much as society has changed, when I look at stuff like that, like I don't like to watch characters like that. Those aren't the type of characters that I like because I don't like people like that. So
Right.
I'm not going to watch something. I'm not going to choose.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Pick my fucking time, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour,
Right.
multiple episodes. Why am I going to do that? Why am I going to subjugate myself?
No, I
that,
feel
you
that. I feel that.
That's
No.
probably something. That's probably why I like Ted Lasso so much.
Yeah.
Is because, and this is why everyone should like Ted Lasso. It's the same reason why we like heartfelt videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, because of the fact that we don't see that shit. We don't see compassion and fucking empathy and people that care about people when they don't have to. So many people walk around this planet and they only care about the things that they have to or that pertain directly to them. They never really take a chance to care about anybody else or to think about anybody else. Now, to be fair,
that's why we're losing people who actually care about other people, because I think those people are starting to feel used, and those people are starting to understand that their mental health is taking a toll because they are doing everything for everybody else and not focusing on themselves. And then now you've snowballed those people into the people that you don't like.
a lot of that though is because of society
Agreed.
and the way that we are forced to live. Okay, we're all playing this bullshit rigged game of life, and we're in this rat race. Okay, we're all a bunch of mice in a fucking tunnel trying to step on each other and charge to the same spot. But it's made up. It's not real.
Right.
You know? And a lot of people, they get so caught up in all of that they don't have time to think about their own mental health.
Right.
Or they're trying to take advantage. They're trying to, quote unquote, play the game.
Right.
And everybody plays the game differently.
Yeah.
I never want to be a person that has to step on someone else for me to get somewhere. Like, I don't want to, for me to eat, I don't want you to go hungry.
Right.
I think that that's bullshit.
Agreed.
Okay? And I've never, ever, ever been a fan of that. Just like people that we've worked with in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I don't like you, I don't want you to get fired. Okay?
Right.
And when people have gotten fired, or people that we've worked with, even if they've done fucked up shit, I'm like, damn, that sucks. You know? I don't
still human.
want that to happen. You know? It sucks that they made that decision. It sucks that they got put in that position to have to make that decision. You know? Fuck, that could have been us. You know, there are so many people in America that are one medical bill away from poverty, one medical bill away from committing a fucking felony. You know, what would you do if you were backed into the corner and you had nowhere else to go and you had 2 kids to feed? You know, we don't know because we haven't been put in those situations.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So,
I mean, but there are still people, I mean, there are people that I have worked with in other jobs and I've had multiple jobs, but that are just stupid and don't do the job. And then you end up screwed too because you're doing double the work because they're not doing their job. So
I think that happens in every
those
profession.
types of people, it does. Those types of people, I don't feel bad for. The people that are doing things because they're forced into a position to do things like that, I can understand. It's the people that are lazy and hold a job and don't do the job that I don't feel bad for. Because there are plenty of other people in this country that would take that job in a heartbeat and work their ass off.
Yeah. Makes total sense.
I think that, you know, there could be a lack of enthusiasm in a lot of people's jobs and a lot of people's lives. You know, I've held a lot of different jobs, you know, since I've been on this earth, and I would say that every job I held, I tried to find some type of enjoyment out of it. Like, I always say that if my job was digging ditches, I would want to find a way to have fun doing it, you know, if that had to be the case.
You are a rare person. I mean, I think there are a lot of people who try to do the same thing.
I'm the same way too.
You are. But I know, like for me, I'm a hardworking person. Any job I get into, I will learn it like that, and I will work my ass off at it. Because that's something that I've always done. It's how I was raised. I don't slack off. but I have worked at jobs where I've had to work 10 times harder because somebody else wasn't doing their part. Somebody else wasn't doing their job. Somebody else would be texting on their phone instead of helping out with the customers, and I'd get screwed out of my lunch break. And that's the shit that bothers me.
And see, that right there, to me, is nothing but lack of compassion, empathy, and just a massive dose of selfishness.
Right.
You know? And that's really, that again goes back to what I was saying. People just don't ever take the time to think about someone else.
Nope.
Okay? Even if it's for 5 minutes. You know? It's...
Yeah.
The same thing when it comes to, we're talking about mental health. If I don't like you, I'm probably just going to say hi to you. Okay? Hi, bye, that's it. If I ever ask you how you're doing, I had this conversation with someone that we work with. And she told me, I'm always gonna say yes, even if I'm bad. And I was like, well, that sucks. I was like, because when I ask you how you're doing, I'm genuinely asking you how you're doing. And if you tell me that you're not doing well, and I'm not fucking running to an emergency, I'll take a couple minutes and I'll talk to you. And I'll ask you how you're doing.
I'm the same way,
you know?
But I know for me, I don't tell people how I'm feeling all the time. I think I've gotten to that point now where if people ask me how I'm doing, I'll say, I'm okay, I'm alright. I have people in my life who know that that's code for I'm losing my shit.
Yeah.
So, but these people are people that have known me for years upon years upon years. That if I say to them, oh, if they ask me how I'm doing and I say, yeah, I'm alright, they'll immediately stop and go, okay, what's going on? What's wrong with you? Like, that's what's happening. But most people don't.
Well, most people, when they ask you how you're doing, they're actually not asking you how you're doing.
Exactly.
It's their form of agreeing.
So I think
Right,
I've learned
Okay.
to be a little bit more honest, and I think that scares people sometimes.
Well, you mentioned the speaking in code. I think I'm over that shit. I think I'm over. Over really, really, really trying to. I just want to be who I am.
See, I also
so if I want to be nice, or if I want to be, try to be compassionate, or whatever, that's how I'm going to be. And I don't want to change who I am because of someone else.
Right.
It didn't work this
Right.
time. And, that's not how it works. You're supposed to be true to who you are.
Right.
No matter what happens around you.
But there are a lot of times that I've noticed where other people are in a worse state of mind or frame of mind or mental health situation than I'm at that point in my life. And if they can't handle it, then there's no reason for me to burden them with it.
Right.
I mean, that's true.
A lot of the time, I have
But it is nice to talk about it. Sometimes it's just nice to talk
about it. It's very healthy.
One of my best friends, she and I will always ask each other, hey, I've got some shit going on. Can you handle it? Like, can I talk to you? Are you in a decent frame of mind?
That's pretty interesting. That's the first time I've heard anything like that. At least no one that I've talked to has been like, yo, I'm about to lay some serious shit on you, man. Can you handle it?
But it's because we have a mutual understanding of where our mental health lies.
Well, not just a mutual understanding. There's a respect there.
Right.
Because, if you're talking to someone that's not empathetic and not compassionate, you can say whatever the fuck you want to them and it's not going to bother them.
Exactly.
But when you tell someone some serious shit that'll cry at a fucking 30-second ad,
yes.
It can possibly affect them.
But that's how she and I are, because we're both that type of person.
That's a good support system to have.
Well, I know. I'm very blessed.
Some people don't have that. Some people have to fucking talk to themselves.
And I come from a I don't know, how do you explain that? I come from
down under.
I like that song.
That was a great song.
My sandwich?
That's a man at work.
Yeah.
That's an episode on those Scrubs that dedicated to that.
I mean, I've gone through some shit in my life. And I think that's made me an empathetic and compassionate person. But it's also made me a people pleaser. And I've learned that I can't be that way either.
The thing is I think that everyone has actually gone through some shit in life.
Oh, for sure.
But it changes everybody differently. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of people that. It's funny. You could almost look at Star Wars, okay, and just take that whole light side versus dark side thing as a very good way, metaphorically, to interpret the way life can be.
Yes.
You know, because you could start out on the light side and fucking really go to the dark side real fast, depending on what happens and how you react to it.
Yep.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that you're unredeemable unless you do something that is unredeemable.
Right.
Like I have a son. I have a 10-year-old.
Right.
And I think it's laughable that parents have been on record with their offsprings doing unspeakable fucking things and just blind loyalty, blind love. Like, no.
What do you mean?
If I find out that my kid is a fucking serial killer and he's chopping up co-eds and shit like that, we got a problem, bro. Okay, I'm fucking rounding you up. We're going to the hospital myself.
Oh yeah.
Like, what is this? I'm gonna support you. No, dude.
No.
Like, what is that? There are certain actions or decisions that if you make it in this life, that, in my opinion, it's just a permanent stain.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away. You molest a child. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Okay. There's and it's only a couple of things in my opinion, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know how people do that.
I don't.
And
know
I couldn't. Like, I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would do that to anybody.
No.
Okay. Doesn't matter if you're my best friend. I mean, Ernest, we've had mutual friends that I've cut off because of how they act and how they treat me, and technically they didn't do anything to me that was unspeakable.
Right. So imagine something that's more serious, right?
Exactly. Imagine something that was more serious. You think I'm not going to fucking cut you off? Like, that's insane.
Weren't we just talking about that?
Yeah. In relation to something else we discussed earlier.
I think right before you came over, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
That there are people in our lives that we have just stopped being friends with because of something that happened here or there. They were all valid reasons to no longer keep somebody in your life. A lot of them are toxic.
Mine was years. All of us was years ago too, though.
But when you find yourself in some sort of toxic relationship with anybody, friendship, acquaintance, marriage, like any type of relationship that is toxic to you, even a parent-child relationship, you know, at some point you have to be like, I'm out.
I think a lot of it's also
you also have to work at it though too.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh my god, there's a fucking problem, and either not identify the problem, try to rectify it. Like it all starts with communication.
Right.
And most humans suck at communication. And as far as communicating how they feel and comprehending and listening to the other person, which is a huge fucking part of communication.
Are we still recording?
Yes, we are. This is fun. That's why it's best to do it this way.
Hint, by the way, I just mentioned that comprehension and listening to the person is a very big part. And Lauren's like, are we still recording? So I just wanted to point that out.
Because I have a train of thought that I'm not going to, just
say things that
out loud,
someone might hear. Yeah.
You know, like if we're not
I get
recording.
it.
But, there are people that, while they suck at communication, are also in denial. They live in denial of how they act, of how they treat other people. They refuse to accept that they have fucked up in one way or another. And when there is no fixing that, when you've tried to be that person's friend, when you've tried to be there for that person, and they continuously refuse to accept that they are flawed.
Narcissists do that.
Yes.
Okay? And you can interchange. You got to treat a narcissist like an addict. Okay. Good point. I smoked cigarettes for 15 years. Okay. I had a son. I still smoke cigarettes. Okay. People were like, Ron, you got to stop smoking. You're gonna die, bro. It's so bad for you. They couldn't get me to stop. I tried multiple times on my own. I've been smoke free now for 7 years. Okay, and I had to do it. Everyone has that choice.
Personal accountability.
They have to. A narcissist has to come to the realization: holy shit, this is who I am, and this is what I do.
Right.
would I, and a lot of people really don't think, would I like it if someone did that to me? No, I wouldn't. So don't do it to someone else. Right. And people don't think that way at all. And you can literally see it in fucking everyday life. Yes. Go to the grocery store and you'll see someone that doesn't even give a fuck that you're there trying to do the same thing that they're doing. So how about you guys fucking share a little bit? Let someone walk by. Yeah. Oh, yeah, holy shit, I'm not the only one in this fucking 10,000 square foot warehouse, bro. My bad. Did you want to walk by and purchase something? You know? No, motherfucker. I wanted to watch you buy something. That's what I came here to do. Like, it's really unbelievable.
Narcissism is so bad.
And I'm a very apologetic person. So, like, when I'm in public, and, like, if I'm holding up the fucking line, I'm like, oh, shit, my bad, guys. Yeah. I apologize. Yeah. Like, oh, you're trying to get through? Shit. When I'm with my son, I'm like, dude, get out the way, let them by. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you got to pay attention. Right. Like, the world is a bigger place now than when we were kids. Yeah. Okay? We didn't have to pay attention as much.
Yeah. So true.
You know, I really didn't think... listen, there are things that would never happen. Do you know that my kid's mom would never in her life be like, it's a weekend, you're 9 years old, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, turn off all the electronics, and go outside and don't come back for 6 hours.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay? I can't do that shit anymore.
It ain't never happening. No. One, most children don't have the fucking survival skills to last that long outside of their house. I don't even know what I was thinking. I think about it now, and I'm like, yo, what, Mom? What the fuck were you thinking? Mm-hmm. Like, what was your problem?
I saw a meme like that it was like your kids now will never know what it was like to be able to just go out and like not have your parents get a hold of you. And then it was like, how did they deal with that? Because I know in this day and age,
you freak out. And what if it didn't come back right on that minute? You're like, oh my god, something happened.
Okay, and I'm a paranoid fucker. Like,
we know that.
My brain goes to worst case scenario like that, and
that's normal. I think
that's not normal.
Yes, it is for people that worry. Yes, yes.
If you're worry, absolutely.
Yes, no, for
we know you worry.
But I couldn't handle that. And I've been in that position where my mom has been out with him, and I haven't been able to get a hold of my mom, and that freaks me the fuck out, and I start losing my shit. But you know, like I should know he's out with my mom. Like I know it's good for us. But
it was probably some of the best things for us. Do you know one of the worst things that parents do? Make their children like them.
Make your what now?
Make their children like them.
Okay. Do you know how much I hate... When my son was born, I would say things like, I hope he likes this. I hope he enjoys this. I hope I get to experience things with him. There are other parents on this planet that go, no, no, no. My child will like this. Yeah. My child will do this. Yeah. Now,
narcissism.
While I'm okay, and I do think that at certain points, you absolutely have to push your child to do things that they don't want to do. Yes. Because it will give them a good experience. Right. And it might open them up to things. At the same time, you need to let your child be who the fuck they are. Oh, and who they are might not necessarily be who you were or are. Right. So if they don't like blue, stop fucking giving them blue shit, bro. Okay? Like I'm not a fan of creating clans, okay? Yeah. And brainwashing your children. Let your children develop into who they are. That's why, like, when we went outside as kids and played without parental supervision, we did either a lot of personal progression and growth, or you could have some regression there. But you're out there on your own, okay? Making your own decisions, developing a character. You're not being told what to do and how to act and what to think. Right. You know, you're becoming an individual. Right. And I think that is extremely important for all of us, because even our kids, we all have kids here. They're little people. They're not as experienced as us, you know. No, but they're the same thing. They have their own thoughts and feelings and likes and dislikes and, you know, their own interactions in this world.
But there are also things like I know, okay, our oldest is a super picky eater. Super picky.
My kid has ARFID, so...
What's that? What is that called?
ARFID.
It's...
Same thing as what Eli has?
It's avoidant, restrictive, intake food disorder.
Yeah. Like, he just refuses to eat things.
Avoidant, restrictive food intake disorder. That's
Right.
what it is. And it is not fun at all. It is a real thing. I never used to think it was real. Holy shit, is it real?
Eli's not been diagnosed with that, but he is sort of that way. And we literally had this discussion with him a couple nights ago where we were trying to explain to him, look, one of his favorite things to eat were these little Eggo chocolate chip pancakes. And you could only get them at Target. And now all of a sudden, every time we try to buy them, Target's out of stock.
Mm-hmm.
So we were trying to explain to him, okay, you may have to try other things now because now you're living off like mac and cheese. And that's it. You have your snacks and stuff, but like the only meal you're eating is mac and cheese. So like you have to start trying other things to find out if you like them or not. And he lost it. He got so upset. He was like, so I can't have mac and cheese anymore? Like, that's not what we're saying at all. But like, way back when, had I been a picky eater, it was you eat what's put in front of you or you don't eat. That was.
See, I never had that problem. I ate my mother out of house and home. Okay.
I was a picky eater, but like my brother was not.
Like
my brother
mom
was
did
a picky
not like
eater.
it when I was homesick from school. She'd be like, "Motherfucker, this is in like the '90s," and she's like, "Yo, you just ate $60 worth of groceries in 2 days."
Yeah.
Like, so I would literally eat food as like a 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
My mom would serve me. I'd sit down and start eating. My mom would get her plate. She'd sit down. As soon as she sat down, I'd be like, "Can I have seconds?" So I eat like I've lived in prison my whole life, and I've never been to prison.
Right, but in my household, it was a eat or don't eat kind of thing, and I was not the picky eater. My brother was, and my dad was a picky eater. So the meals that we had were things that my dad always liked. If my mom ever made something else, I always tried it, but it was only for me and her. But majority of the time, whatever we made for dinner, that was dinner. If you didn't want to eat it, you figured out a way for yourself to eat. There was no, I'm making a second meal.
I mean,
there
at
was
least your parents were like, if you don't like that, you can find something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to make it.
A lot
it was
of times
not
it's
because
eat that or starve.
for us, we're making like two dinners a night.
It happens.
Because our oldest is ridiculous when it comes to food. Our youngest will eat everything. He'll try everything.
For anyone listening to this podcast, by the way, this would be a public service announcement. So seriously consider having children before you do.
Yes.
Okay? You can be happy without babies. Get a dog.
You don't have to have children to be happy in this world.
Well, that's not a topic too, because like a lot of people become parents because they're either pressured by their parents to or pressured by others to because society.
That's another thing that society fucking lies to us about. You're not accomplished if you don't do this by then.
Bullshit.
No, there's no rules. There's no timeline.
You're still living in that.
Yeah.
But like I have one
Well, that's why I said it was a lie, by the way.
Yeah. No.
Because they literally lied to us. Just
Yes.
like our parents lied to us and they said, it'll be so much better when you grow up. Bullshit. Okay, responsibility sucks.
I wish.
I tell my kids that all the time. My oldest wants to think he's an adult. He wants to think that he knows better than I do.
He's an know-it-all, man.
Okay? And I sit there and I explain to him, you want to be an adult? You want to see what it's like? Go ahead.
I mean, he will. That's the thing.
He will. I know.
That's the sad thing.
But I don't want to sit there and have him
take his time, man.
I want my son to be a kid as long as he can.
My kid doesn't want to be a kid. My kid wants to be an adult.
It
and my
almost
problem
sounds
with
like
him,
that almost sounds like a single child thing though, because I had that. I was raised by a single mom, and I'm an only child, and so like I hung around adults a lot. So I wanted to be one of the adults. I hated always being the only kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that seems interesting that he wants to grow up so quickly.
Yeah. But he always thinks that like, oh, I'll get to do whatever I want when I'm an adult. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
You don't.
Actually, yeah, you can.
No.
Yes, you can. See, that right there, don't lie to your son. He can do whatever he wants. But there are fucking consequences.
Well, I teach him that too.
And there are consequences to everything. There are good consequences, and there are bad consequences.
Just had this conversation in the car with him. Didn't I just have this conversation? For every action, there is a consequence. For everything that you decide to do, there is something else that will happen. And if it's a good action, it's a good consequence. If it's a bad action, it's a bad consequence.
Not always true either.
No, not always true.
Okay.
But you can't explain that to an 8-year-old. But the thing is the way that he lives his life, he does not like to take responsibility for his actions. So when he gets in trouble, he doesn't understand why he's getting in trouble. And we'll sit down and explain it to him, and it'll take him a while, but he'll finally get it. And then he'll understand, oh, this is why there's a consequence to it. But it's like, half the time he'll sit there and tell you, I never did anything wrong. And it was like, but you did. You decided to act this way. This was what happened from it. Now you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Well, something that was told to me a couple years ago, and I've been trying to really embrace that and work on that ever since I heard it, was you cannot control your feelings. You cannot control how you feel.
No, you can control your reaction.
Yes. And that is a very, very important thing to try to learn and teach other people. Because so many people do not realize that.
Right.
Okay? Like, you're going to feel however you feel. If you're sad, you're going to be sad. If you're angry, you're going to be angry. What are you going to do with that anger?
Right.
What are you going to do with that sadness? How are you going to react to that? You need to experience those emotions.
Yeah.
And you need to be able, in the craziest times and the happiest times, be able to be calm and understand what's happening. And I do believe that it's hard with children.
Mm-hmm. We explain to them, and if you look at my fridge, you'll see there are anger rules on the fridge. Okay? I will explain to both of my kids. They are allowed to feel whatever they are feeling. Like my 4-year-old is at a stage where when he gets mad, he wants to throw things. He wants to hit you because he doesn't know how to express it yet. So the way that we teach him is we tell him, you can be mad. You could feel that way. But you can't hit. You can't throw. You can feel that feeling because it's valid, but you cannot react in this way. And on my fridge, you will see anger rules that you are allowed to be angry, but you cannot hurt yourself, you cannot hurt other people, and you cannot hurt property.
It's important. Being able to release, you know what I mean? It's a big thing. That's why, like, even, you know, it's a cliche, and it's done so much, but the whole, you know, putting your head in the fucking pillow and screaming, that shit is real, man. Okay? I've told people, listen, if you just want someone to fucking yell at, call me, man. I'll listen to you. You want to yell at somebody and not get in trouble for it? I get it. Sometimes you gotta go off. Okay? Yeah. Sometimes you have to. But everyone's different. I have a very bad temper, and I hate getting upset.
Yeah.
And I really try to calm myself down. Sometimes it's hard, depending on who I'm interacting with and what the subject is and stuff like that, and also how I'm getting treated. Sometimes when I get upset, aggravated, I'm matching what the other person is doing. So even if I start off in a calm state, if you start yelling at me, in the beginning I can be like, I don't need to yell back to be heard, okay? And I try to get the other person to not yell. The other person keeps yelling at me, I'm going to start fucking yelling. And then it's just not fun, man. I hate that feeling. And I hate that feeling of somewhat losing control, because you will make... Humans are impulsive, man. And emotions are fucking strong, whether they're happy emotions...
That's so true.
...or whether they're bad emotions.
Yeah.
Like, you get that one bad emotion, that's how fucking wives and husbands end up dead.
Yeah.
Because a split-second feeling, they just said, fuck it, and they would never act like that in any other situation.
Yeah.
But it's just something happens. And the same thing happens when people are fucking happy. Why do you think so many people go to Vegas and get married?
Yeah.
Okay? Because in that ultimate moment of happiness, they're like, oh my God, best decision ever. Yeah, you made a horrible decision.
No, I've taught myself over this. When he met me, I was an angry bitch. I kind of feel like she needs to learn grammar because words like past tense. Just saying. I think the word you're looking for is am, okay? Who I am now.
She's much better now. No.
That doesn't mean you're not an angry bitch anymore. That just means you're not a raging angry bitch. You're not a fucking smoldering inferno.
No,
right?
she's much better.
It's gonna go supernova. You're more like you're like the old lava thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like just like crusted up. You're still kind of really raging way, way, way deep down in your core. But you're all right. You know what I mean? There's like maybe some hope on the horizon. Maybe some flowers will sprout up.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's night and day from 2006.
It is night and day. But I really I had to do this the other day because I almost lost it in the car the other day. I had my mom in the car and both kids in the back seat, and we were driving in a shopping center, and to the right of me, there's a car parked with its hazard lights on. To the left of me, there's another car coming. There's two people walking across in front of me. One coming from that, going diagonally, and the other person just walking straight across. So I'm inching my way through, and somebody comes from the parking lot, the aisle of cars that I have already just passed. Okay? And as I pass and he walks behind me, he smacks the back of my car. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I started to go off. And I had to calm myself down because I had kids in the back seat. I had my mom there. It wasn't like I could throw the car in park, get out, and cuss this guy out. Because I wasn't doing anything wrong. You don't get to fucking hit my car just because, God forbid, there was a car in your way. Walk around it. But I had to take a deep breath, calm myself down, so I didn't go off. Because I started to. In the car. I started to cuss, and shit just came flying out, and I had to be like, I can't. But it's taken me years to get to that point.
That's not an angry bitch, by the way. Like, somebody hit your personal property for kind of no reason other than the fact that they felt like they were entitled to. And a lot of self-entitlement...
This is why I said I'm not a raging bitch anymore. Because way back when, I would have done that. Way back when, I would have thrown the car in the park, gotten out.
But that's not a raging bitch. Okay, this is the problem but this is the problem that we have right now in society. No one is fucking held accountable for their actions. You can't treat motherfucking strangers any way you want.
Right.
You know why? Because you don't fucking know me, dude. So many people did that shit at the place that we work at, okay? Where I've had conversations where I'm like, you do not know me like that. You cannot speak to me like that. We don't have that kind of relationship.
Right.
Okay? And now, it seems like there's no more boundaries for a lot of people. They're going to do and say whatever the fuck they want, and if you don't like it, you just got to deal with it. That's not the way it works, bro, because 30 years ago, you just got punched in the face,
right?
And then you didn't say that shit anymore.
But see, now I don't know if you've noticed this or not, because this is something that's happened to me a lot now. As the empathetic, compassionate person, I have to set boundaries. And I never did before. Right. Now I have to set them. But I have to set them
to save
protect
yourself.
Boundaries like for the people that you interact with or the interactions that you have? Well, first of all, I mean, I think that that's you just learning because everyone, you have a choice. Mm-hmm. Everything you do, you have a choice. I can fucking get up right now and walk out and never say goodbye to you guys. Just be like, bye, leave. It's a choice. Okay? We choose what we do.
Right.
Unless we don't have that choice.
Right.
You know? So,
but
we should always have boundaries as far as like who we interact with, who we talk with, who we share our true feelings with.
Yeah.
Okay?
But I've gotten to the point where, I'll be going through something in my life, and I'll just talk to anybody about it. I don't fucking care anymore. But I'll set a boundary for myself as to how far I can go, or who I should talk to, who I shouldn't talk to, who I can keep as a friend, who I can keep as an acquaintance. I've had to to do that in my own life. I've had to set boundaries with people that are heavily involved in my life because I didn't before. And that's a very hard thing to go through, but it's to protect myself, to protect my feelings, to protect the person that I am.
This goes back to what I said, you know, everyone deserves to be happy, and your happiness is your own responsibility.
Yep.
Okay? Straight up, man. All right? And I'm not going to lie, I don't really want to be, my circle in my life is very small. Okay? Very, very, very small. And I don't want to be involved in anyone's life that doesn't want me in their life. I'm over that. Okay? Like, I'm never... The whole, again, this is cliche as well, you know, the guy and the girl thing. You know, the guy likes the girl, and the girl's like, fuck you, man, I don't want to do with you. Well, fuck you too, bitch. Okay? What is this? Like, I'm not, no. That's not how it works. I shouldn't have to grovel and do things. No, like, what's your mind about? I'm at the point now where, like, fucking speed dating is the best thing ever. I got, like, 5 questions, and depending on how you answer those fucking questions, okay, we can either move forward or you can walk that way.
Yeah.
Okay? There are certain things that are set in stone for me, and there are a lot of things in society that are set in stone for other people, and I'm done trying to change people. Because you can't change anyone.
Yeah.
Okay? People change, but they change their way.
Yeah.
Themselves. And everyone changes differently.
Yeah.
Some people it can take a short amount of time. Some people it takes a long fucking time. Some people it takes a drastic thing. You know, sorry that has to be that way, but it is what it is. And I just, someone said to me a while ago, Ron, you shouldn't be single, man. You need to go out and get somebody. I said, why do I want another human being to complicate my fucking life any more than it already is? Because all I'm gonna have to do to get, you know, when I'm in a relationship with somebody else is think about what the fuck they want and what they like and what they don't like. And oh my God, I gotta watch this fucking show that I never would have watched, but now I'm watching it only to watch it with you. And you do so many things. A lot of people have this, and I experienced this. You know, you're in a relationship for a long, long, long time. You break up, you don't even know what the fuck to do with yourself because you kind of forgot who you are. You forgot what you like. You know, and one of the biggest things that I've you know, at least that I want to take to in future relationships is sharing stuff with someone, having your own individual life, okay, and likes and dislikes, but being able to have a shared happiness with someone. You know,
That's
where it's not you wake up and it's, oh my God, what do I have to do to please this person? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever felt that way.
That's really good.
I think we've always been. I mean, in the very beginning, we were like attached at the hip.
Yeah.
But like we've grown into different people.
Well, you're gonna be attached to the hip in the honeymoon phase.
Right.
You're learning. You're
Right.
learning so much about someone, and you're spending so much time with them. You know, we talked about this earlier today at work. Fucking man, dude, let's just skip the first 6 months. Let's take a 3,000-mile car ride. I'll know at the end of that car ride if I like you or if I wish that there was a fucking eject button in my car. Figure it out. Okay? It's real simple.
But you have that even in a relationship when you do have a shared happiness, because there are times in that relationship where things are really tough, or you are sharing the same stress load with different stresses. There's you hit ruts and, you know, rough parts, and communication is constantly. I just had that conversation too.
Communication and resentment are the worst things.
But communication is key.
Absolutely.
Communication is key, and that, I think, you have to be in a relationship with. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to be to the point where you're brutally honest about the things that are happening with you, or with how they're making you feel, or anything like that. Like, you have to be open. You can't just be this guarded person where it's like, I'll just deal with my own feelings and...
But see, I think you should be like that with everything. I tell Ernest.
I've gotten to that point in my life.
I tell Ernest all the time.
What you told me?
Okay? No, just the conversations that we have. I'm very real with you.
Yes, that's correct.
I tell you how I fucking feel.
Yep.
Me and Lauren have conversations on the fucking floor, and I don't hold back nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Okay? I like her enough I don't have to sugarcoat anything.
Nope.
She knows who I am.
Yep.
She knows what the fuck I'm about.
Yep.
This is how I talk.
Yep.
Okay? Fucking Mike May brought that shit up. He was like, yeah, you'll have conversations with people, and, I think that they think that you're kind of aggressive. And I'm like, well, that's me having a conversation with someone. It's not pertaining to any kind of professionalism or anything like that.
Right.
I'm like, dude, that's another thing. You can't treat everyone the exact fucking same.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to talk to you the same way I talk to an 80-year-old woman. It's not the same.
Right.
So...
No, because I can come off the same way.
Like,
maybe not as aggressive or abrasive, but as passionate. That I think I don't remember who I had this conversation with. I get to the point where there's certain things that I literally can't understand about other people.
What do you mean dude, there's like fucking multiple things with me. Like, there's so much I am so confused by other humans, it's fucking mind-blowing. Okay? The entitlement, the feeling of being better than other people.
I can justify and understand where somebody's coming from when they act a certain way, if they came from a certain background, so on and so forth.
No, I can't, because that's an excuse.
All
you're doing is justifying behavior.
But if you're refusing to accept that about yourself and work on it, and it's all you know, then Then I'm judging you.
Well, you know what your job is for the first 18 years? To listen to what your fucking parents say. Do you know what your job is after that? To unlearn a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Okay? A lot of shit.
I've been unlearning a lot of shit in my life because of how I was raised. And not that I was raised in a bad way. I had a lot of shit.
You like who you are now?
I never liked who I am.
I don't really have a response to that.
Exactly. I'm a complicated person when it comes to that. You can talk to me all day, every day.
You should work on that.
About it. It is.
And work on liking yourself.
Yes.
Okay?
I know.
Because I truly believe that wherever you are at some point in your life, if you do find happiness and you are at some point happy with yourself, you truly can't regret anything that happened to you in your past. I'm not speaking to you specifically. I'm just saying in general.
Specifically.
I apologize.
Okay.
What are you apologizing for?
For butchering the English language, which is already fucking dumb. So, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't create the English language. All right, and I'm also ignorant, and I only know one. I wish I knew more.
Specifically.
Okay, but if you personally for me, I think I'm very happy with who I am as a person. I try to be a good person. Okay.
You are a good person.
And I try. Okay. I'm also very hard on myself and stuff like that.
You and me both.
But I can't regret anything that's happened in my past because it's brought me to this point. And everything in my past, changed me, did something to me. I learned from it. And if I really kind of believe in the butterfly effect. You go back and you change those things, it's not the same. Like if I don't drop out of high school, I don't know if I have my son. So can I really be upset that I dropped out of high school? I ended up getting a real high school diploma, by the way, not a GED for anyone that's listening. Okay, well, all right, just for some context. Okay, yeah. And again, this goes back to what we were talking about, choice.
Right.
I was presented two options. I could go to a GED program, or I could actually go to like a vocational school program and get a fully accredited high school diploma. And I said, it's my choice. They said, yep. I said, I want to get the high school diploma. I don't want a GED.
Right.
I want it to kind of be like I'm rectifying a decision that I made, not, settling. I'm not settling. I'm going for what I actually didn't get. And it just, to me, It was more involved. It was more work. Okay, but I'm happy. I'm happy I did that. You know. So a lot of people are afraid to make the harder choice. They're afraid to go down the harder road. You know.
I don't even really know where to start. There are things that I like about myself.
That's a positive thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there are also things that I highly dislike about myself.
You're not alone.
And wish I could change. And as
You can.
hard as I work on them,
Welcome to the club.
as hard as I work on them, I still have these days where that side of me comes out.
You're gonna have that.
Right. But the guilt that I live with on a daily basis from that.
Wait a minute. From multiple past actions, or like, are you talking about you'll get
I'm
upset,
talking
you'll get
about-
upset, lose your shit on a Monday, Saturday, you're thinking about it and you're pissed about it? Is that what we're talking about, or are we talking about
How
shit
does-
that's literally years ago?
It's.
How about we just think about this?
I don't
Anything
know
that
how to explain
happened,
myself.
anything that happened after the last year. So you get 1 year. You get the last 12 months to be pissed at yourself for something that you did. Everything after that, you just gotta let it the fuck go.
Okay.
You gotta drop it like fucking luggage that you don't want anymore.
The way that I am, the way that my brain operates, I have memories of things from. I can't remember the first 8 or 9 years of my life. Can't remember them. Don't know why. Just can't remember them.
It happens.
And it's probably due to the shit that I went through when I was a teenager and how that affected everything before that. And I had already grown up in a very unusual household because my father was disabled. My mother was working 80 hours a week. And then she suffered a major mental breakdown. And there was shit that happened in my life that I had to grow up real quick. And when you miss out on, and that's not to say that I didn't get to do things as a teenager. I got to go out with my friends. I got to, go to parties and things like that. But I was the caretaker. I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. I drove everybody home. I made sure everybody who was drunk was in their bed safely, tucked in.
That's why they call you mom.
Okay? And I was everybody's mom because that's who I was at home. That's who I was everywhere else. And when it came time for me to actually have children,
You didn't want to be a mom.
I freaked the fuck out. I freaked out when I was pregnant with Eli.
By the way, everyone should freak out when they're about to have a fucking child because there is no rule book.
Nope.
Okay, all right. No one knows really what the fuck they're doing. All right.
Right.
And no one, I don't care what anyone says, no one's fucking ready.
Right.
No one's ready. No one's prepared because you don't know what's
Exactly.
coming. All right. And if you think you do, you're just, in my opinion, you're setting yourself up for failure.
But he and I talk about this all the time, that I will be a much better mother to them. And not that I'm a bad mom now, because I'm not the greatest mom, but I'm also not the worst mom. But I will be a much better mother to them when they are older. When they are in their teenage years, going through high school, going through their puberty
I hope
and
I am
transition
too.
and stuff.
I feel that way with my son because we're very, very similar. He's extremely emotional like
Yeah.
me, okay? And I see a lot of similarities. And I remember growing up as an adolescent and a
Yeah.
lot of times that I spent in my room with my thoughts, and I
Yeah.
didn't have a dad to talk to.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to talk to my mother about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to just be available.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's really, if you want the fucking best way to be a parent, I think is
Availability.
don't think that you're a good parent. Okay? Don't think that you're the greatest fucking thing that ever happened. Alright? Have a little bit of self-doubt because that makes you do better. That makes you try harder.
Right.
Okay? It makes you care. And yes, be available. I cannot believe the stories I hear of people that get together, have babies, separate, and hey, can you take your child for the day? No. Who the fuck says no? What are you doing? Why did you have a child? Like, this is the longest, biggest commitment that you will ever make in your life. Because it's for life.
Right.
It is literally for life. It is, I hate the, just gotta do it for 18 years. Who the fuck are you, bro? I do not want you as a parent.
Yeah.
If when I'm 35, I can't come talk to you.
Right.
And you're not going to be my fucking mom or
Right.
my dad.
Right.
You're it for life, bro. Yes. Until I know that you don't know, you know everything that I don't.
Right.
So every question I have, I'm coming to you.
Right.
Okay? And that's another thing. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to talk to people.
That's why I talk to everybody about the shit that's going on with my kids, the shit that I go through with them, the things that come out of their mouth. I will talk to anybody and everybody because I don't know anymore what's normal. I don't know. And
there's no such thing as normal.
But raising kids in this day and age, the things that they have available to them that we did not, it's a completely different thing that you have to deal with.
It's a different experience.
Different set of rules. And to be unlearning your own I don't know what the word is.
It's almost like you had a strategy in place. You know what I mean? Like
When
you're thinking about it.
But when you're working through your own trauma, when you're working through things that happened to you and your childhood, because a lot of us all have a lot of us this age all have the same kind of thing happening, the same kind of anxiety levels and, the shit that we're dealing with now is not things that we dealt with then. And the way that we were trained for these things is not how we were trained for, we weren't prepared for these types of things.
Nope.
And
I think there was also a lot less compassion in the times that we were raised. I think, if you were raised in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, mental health was not focused on. It was not talked about. It was not.
Well, especially not in kids.
Right.
Okay, no one paid attention to children like that.
Yep.
Okay, because they didn't think of them.
So now here there are half of us undiagnosed with ADHD, undiagnosed with anxiety disorder, undiagnosed with depression because it was never talked about, and a shit ton of us have it.
And also, you were almost ostracized.
Right.
For all of that. Like if you were depressed, you were the gothic kid.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Oh, that kid's fucking weird, man.
We call it an emo phase. That was the thing. Is I had my emo phase, and it was but it wasn't a phase. There was shit going on, shit that I didn't know how to handle. Exactly. And your hormones are raging at that time frame, and you really don't know how to handle it.
And another thing that I just learned recently, and it's different because the physiology of males and females are different, but we're still developing as humans.
Yeah.
The male brain doesn't even fully develop into your mid 20s, late 20s. You're always developing.
Right.
So we probably hinder so much development, in children because of the lack of attention that we give them.
Right.
Okay, and the lack of care that may actually be needed in some kids.
Right.
Okay, we completely disregard that. We slap a fucking Band-Aid on it, okay, or give them something to occupy their time.
Right.
And we just move on.
Right.
Okay? No one, it's hard for people to take the time and explain things. And to try to really be like, okay, do you understand what's happening?
Right.
Do you understand what's happening to you? Okay? Right. And how do you feel about this and stuff like that? Dude, when I was a kid, no one ever asked me how I fucking felt.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
I ask my kid all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Okay? Just like it wasn't a thing to be affectionate.
Yeah.
Okay? You couldn't be a father and be affectionate. Fuck all that, man. I love my son. I hug him all the time. I'm always going to show physical affection.
Yeah.
Always. Okay? Apparently they've done studies that...
That's a youth topic.
What? Oh, no. I am very affectionate with my kids.
Listen, apparently
2
they have
boys.
studies that physical affection is extremely important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow,
Especially
question.
in the baby phase.
Yeah.
Touching.
Dude, the first thing I did with my son...
all kinds of things. It's very big.
When I come home from work yesterday, the first thing I did with my youngest kid, picked him up, kissed him on his cheek, rough house a little bit. I'm very much pro that. My kids, availability is important, physical affection, attention, all that. That is so. This idea that because you're a male and your father, you shouldn't be that way. Get the fuck out of there with that shit,
Listen,
dude.
I hate alpha shit.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as alphas and betas.
Yeah.
If you think you're an alpha, newsflash, you're a beta. And I don't think that either of those exist.
Yeah.
So figure that
I
out.
just think that you can just be all of that. You can be a tough male and still be affectionate and still be sensitive. I don't know why it has to be one or the other. This idea that
You're supposed to be
masculinity is muscles and fucking just like get dirty and strong and you can't be affectionate with your kids. Get the fuck no.
Yeah, I love how biology and the physical appearance of someone means that they can't be smart or they can't
stupid,
have
it's
empathy,
retarded,
or they can't be caring.
Right.
Like you don't get to decide if you're gonna be fucking 7'2", 350 pounds.
Right.
Just like you don't get to decide what country you were fucking born in.
Right.
Americans, listen up, because that's for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hate the fact that people that didn't ask to be born, didn't choose where they were born or who their fucking parents were, think that any of that matters.
It's luck of the draw.
Okay.
It's luck of the draw.
None of that fucking matters.
Yeah. Literally luck of the draw. So, end of there. We almost went 2 hours.
Yeah.
Ron, that was great.
It's not my podcast, bro.
First podcast you do with me in about 10 years.
Yeah, the last time we did it, it was all about basketball, bro.
We've come a long way,
I
man.
believe
was
the
you and
Lakers
Zach.
did not win a championship that year.
No, the Mavericks did.
That was
The Mavericks did.
that was the year of the El Heat.
Actually, no. He did win the championship that year because that was coming out of the strike.
No, that was 2011.
No, right.
Because we...
I started the podcast the month after that the Heat lost that series.
Okay.
So, and then we had a strike. Remember? The lockout.
Were we neighbors at that time or no?
No, but I became it was the year after.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I always forget that.
We were neighbors at one point.